Okay. Oh, wow. I feel like a lot of people are joining. Hey. I'm gonna wait for a couple people or more people to join before I start yapping. What's up, Amy? Oh. Damn. The live goal's already reached? Wow, hold on, let me fix it. Let me reset it. Oh, it was 1 rose, that's why. Okay, let me do like, how many should I do? 100? 100 heart puffs. I love the heart puffs, they're so cute. Okay, we'll do that. Perfect, and I'll pin it. Okay, so, oh, hey Tor, didn't know you were here. I mean, I just wanted to, I guess, give more of, like, my perspective, because I didn't even want to be involved in this, genuinely. So I didn't want to take up, like, too much time yesterday talking about, like, what I experienced or saw, because I was not the main individual who should have been, involved in this. But, oh, thank you, Banks. I guess let me just start I can start from the beginning. I could start from, I'll start from the beginning. Okay, so in March, April, some of February, and a little bit of May, I was dealing with Bobby. And as we all know, Bobby was Bobby was a stalker, and he, stalked me, he harassed me, not only online, he was able to infiltrate my real life. He was able to figure out where I go to school. He was able to figure out where I've worked previously. He was able to figure out just a lot of information about me. And why is this relevant? This is relevant because this, like, Bobby specifically led to Irish and I having friendship issues, because it was very stressful. It was a very stressful moment in my life, because, oh my gosh, it was so bad. I'm not gonna lie. It was horrible. So it was very stressful. I'm actually very busy. That's also why I've kind of stepped away from doing lives. I am so incredibly busy. And so I was worrying about where I was going to be living next summer. I was worrying about what job I was going to have, because the job that I had, I was ending. And so it was just a very overall stressful time. And then I was dealing with Bobby stalking me, harassing me, both online and in person, and, whatever. So it was just very stressful, and it was a very stressful moment in my TikTok career, I guess. And that's when, Irish and I started having friendship issues, because it was just pretty stressful. And so, anyways, in, April, I messaged people about, the issues that I was having with him, and that's when I messaged Kenzie. And I messaged her. We didn't really go into too much detail. I talked to her, a little bit. She didn't have all the details. Yeah. So I did message her in, April, about my issues with Irish, and more specifically just one issue in particular. And then after that, I really didn't talk to her again until this call that happened in May the 7-hour call that everyone keeps talking about, which, for those of you guys who are wondering how did a call last 7 hours? It was mostly just me and other people talking. Most of that call was me venting to them. And I was also talking about other things. I was talking about work. I was talking about real life things, whatever. That's why Kenzie wasn't on the call the entire time, because not all of it was relevant. So it was just a lengthy call. And that is the call where Kenzie told all of us the lie. And what was the lie, you may be asking? Because I know this story is very convoluted, so it's kind of hard to follow. But what was the lie? The lie was Kenzie was telling us why her friendship with Irish ended. She mentioned a couple of reasons. And I can get into those reasons. Kenzie mentioned that she believed that there was a power dynamic between her and Irish because Irish doesn't have a face. And also, I guess Kenzie gave Irish information about her and asked her to look her up to verify that she doesn't have any social media out there that could be used against her. So she believed there was a power dynamic because of that, mostly because of his face. She was really focused on the face thing, the faceless man thing. She was like, he's seen my face and I don't even know what he looks like. And apparently that was a big issue for her. And then, also some of their other fights, she talked about that. And then she talked about the Sarah thing. And she talked about how... I'm trying to, figure out how I want to say it, because it's, there's so many details. But basically, the lie that was told to all of us in this group was that Kenzie went on to a live where another creator, and this was Irish's live. Kenzie went on to Irish's live, continued a conversation that was victim blamey. And the reason it was victim blamey was because mostly they were talking about how to spot red flags regarding the Harry Sisson issue. And, whenever you're talking on an issue surrounding sexual misconduct, it's irrelevant to talk about the red flags because all of the behaviors that the perpetrator committed, that's on them. That's on them. You know what I mean? So it's getting into the rhetoric of victim blaming whenever you're well, you could have spotted this or you could have spotted that, or just really talking about red flags in general. And that wasn't what the live was about. The person who initially started that conversation was not on topic. They were off topic. And that creator, they also didn't really understand the Harry Sisson thing. They had their own opinions of the Harry Sisson thing, and they didn't understand why it was a big deal, and that's partly why they were victim blaming. And then Kenzie came up onto this live, continued the conversation. Okay? And Kenzie told us in this call that that Irish had... I'm trying to think of how to say this. I'm sorry. There's just so many details. Kenzie had told us in this call that Irish and her had an argument. And during this argument, Kenzie said that Irish created this victim and said that this victim felt victim blamed by Kenzie's words. And Kenzie said that she ended up figuring out who this victim was. She talked to the victim. She told us she saw the DMs between Sarah and Irish directly. And she told us that the DMs, one, did not mention her name at all. And two, that the individual, the Sarah, I guess we can say her name now. I forgot, sorry. That Sarah did not feel affected or hurt or victim blamed by Kenzie's words. That's what Kenzie told us. So the lie that she told us was twofold. One, her name, she said that her name was not in the DMs at all. And then two, she said that Sarah never felt victim blamed. Sarah never felt affected or hurt by the words that Kenzie spoke on that live. So that was the lie that Kenzie told us. And I had no reason to disbelieve this lie. Like, why am I going to disbelieve it? Like, I really had no reason to disbelieve it. So I kind of was like, oh, like that's fucked up. Like, wow, I was shocked. But, the call continued, right? We kept talking about separate issues from that and whatever. Then a couple days after that, when I reconnected with Irish, we talked about this lie that was, told to us, and he showed me the DMs right then and there. He pulled them up. He showed the DMs right then and there. And since Kenzie was the person who named Sarah. Kenzie told us that it was Sarah in the call. So, yeah, Irish showed me the DMs because Kenzie had already named this person. I'm sure if Kenzie had kept this person anonymous, he would have redacted the name and showed us the DMs regardless. But whatever. Either way, I saw the DMs between Sarah and Irish with my own eyeballs. And what was in the DMs? First of all, Kenzie's name in the DMs. Second of all, it was Sarah talking about how she felt affected, hurt, / victim blamed by Kenzie's words. So I was like, wow, okay, Kenzie lied to me. Like, that, it was really that simple. It was really that fucking simple. And I'm sure, I don't know what Irish's plan is for releasing, the screenshots of everything. But I do know that he is working on releasing the screenshots of everything that he said and corroborating everything that he said. He has, a fuck ton of screenshots. It's insane how many screenshots of, messages and, just, evidence, that this man has. But I don't know when it's going to be released, probably sometime over this weekend. But yeah, I saw the DMs. She lied. Kenzie lied to us. Whatever, and so anyways, then we started to reflect on the call that had happened, and we reflected on why Kenzie lied to us, and we reflected, and by we, I mean the group of people who were in the call. We reflected on, why this lie was told. We reflected on just, why Kenzie was there in the first place. I'll tell you why Kenzie was there. And listen, I'm actually so upset that Brussels is no longer a part of, our group. I really am sad about that because I really liked Brussels. I thought she was, before all of this, a great person. I thought she was really funny. I thought we had a lot of similar opinions on a lot of things. She was very much similar to me in a lot of ways. So, I'm upset that she is no longer a part of our friend group. It sucks. But Brussels was the one who told all of us that we should hear Kenzie's side of why she's no longer friends with Irish. And so she was the one who created this group chat and then invited Kenzie in to this group chat. So that's how Kenzie got into this call in this conversation. And so anyways, we were reflecting on this call and how she got in, why she was there, what her motives were. And during the call, she did give options. I'll corroborate that. She did give options as to the steps that I could take to better my mental health while also not completely cutting Irish off. She did give a couple steps, but the primary course of action that she was pushing for me to take was to completely cut Irish off and just be done with him. Okay, sorry, I heard something. That was the primary course of action that she wanted me to take. And that's how I felt. Like, I felt like she was very much pushing for me to cut him off. She was very much pushing for me to be cruel to him. She was very much pushing for me to do things that I was not comfortable doing. I was not comfortable cutting him off, just like, no conversation, cut him off, boom, done. I was not comfortable, like, being cruel to him, because he's my friend. As much as, like, he pisses me off, he's my friend. Hold on, sorry, my brother's coming downstairs. Sorry, my little brother came downstairs, and I'm babysitting, so I know that I'm muted, guys. I'm talking to my little brother. Okay, sorry about that. Where were we at? Can someone... okay, yeah. So she was very much pushing for me to be cruel and cut Irish off. Like, that's how I felt about it. And, like, and that's how I felt on the call, too. And, so, like, that was the direction that she was really more so focusing her efforts on. And, that wasn't the direction I was wanting to go. That's not the direction I went, clearly, because here we are. And whatever. So that was, like, the last time I heard from Kenzie. That was the last time I heard from Kenzie, and that was in, like, May, up until, like, now, obviously. Let me think what else. Oh, so Kenzie, I forgot about this. Kenzie and Brussels were in, I believe they were in, they were in group chats with Sarah, whatever. I was, like, hearing that Kenzie was telling, like, Kenzie and Brussels were telling Sarah, like, the issues that I was having with Irish and telling them things that, like, private, like, things about Irish and I's friendship and, like, issues that we were having, which is weird because I thought you were pro not telling women's stories to other people without consent. I don't know. I just thought I'd throw that out there, that I heard about that. And anyways, so Irish, he kind of, like, as soon as he heard about the lie that Kenzie told us, he started to, like, look into, I guess, Kenzie's, like, actions over their friendship, and he came to the conclusion that Kenzie was a manipulator, problematic, an issue. And so for quite a while now, he's been talking to a small group of us about what to do, about this information. Should he, like, talk about it? Should he not? Should he just leave it be? For, like, 2 months, this man has been contemplating, like, what he should do with the information, if it's even that serious enough to, like, give a fuck about, if it's really that big of a deal, if anyone will care. And so, like, he's been, juggling all of that. And I guess, he decided that what would be the best course of action is to release a public statement in his server as to why him and Kenzie were no longer friends. And Brussels as well, because Brussels was a big part of our community. Brussels was a major part of our community, and Brussels disappeared. Brussels disappeared for months on end, and people were wondering where she was at. And so I think that was also a large part of, like, why Irish released this statement as to why they were no longer friends. So that was why he wanted to talk about this. And he released this statement in his server, which, by the way, very private server for the most part. It's hard to get into this server. He only opened up this server so you guys could come and see the call. That's it. That's the only reason he opened up this server, okay? Like, so anyways, it gets back to Kenzie. Kenzie's server fucking blows up, okay? Kenzie's server turns into a war zone, whatever. And then that's when a girly brings up my name. I was on vacation and I'm out here seeing my name be thrown out in her server as a threat. And I will get into that in a second. But I'm like, girl, I'm on vacation. I don't give a fuck about any of this. But I was just like, what are we doing? What are we doing? I don't know. It was just like, why? You didn't have to name me. I'm like not involved in this at all. Like, I haven't said anything about Kenzie publicly. And I don't know. It was just like, it was weird. Actually, I have that screenshot, so I'm going to put it up. I'll put it up what I'm talking about and why I took this as a threat. Okay, let's do that. And then where is it? I don't know which one it is, so bear with me for just a moment. I think it might be... Yeah. Okay. So this one right here. So this was what I saw that had my name in it. By the way, prior to this, I hadn't said anything. I hadn't said anything since Kenzie's server started to blow up. I was not involved in this at all. I did not talk about Kenzie. Like, I did not, comment whenever Irish released his statement about Kenzie, whatever. So here Kenzie is in her server. Then, after it blew up. If you have your mind made up and aren't open to additional information, then I don't know what there is to talk about. I can only ask you to be more cautious and considerate about what you're doing right now. This is going to hurt a lot of women, especially Mac. Why? What is my involvement? What is my involvement in this? Why did I need to be mentioned? I don't know. That was weird to me. I don't feel like I needed to be mentioned for you to discuss your issues with Irish. You know what I mean? So I did take this as a threat. You want to know why I took this as a threat? I took this as a threat because I knew I had talked to Kenzie about my private issues in April and in May. She sat on this call. I took this as a threat because she had DMs of private matters that I knew she was gonna release. And you know what she did? She still released them. Yeah, I deleted all of my fucking after I saw this shit, I deleted all of my DMs with her. Anything that was really remotely mentioning Irish or talking about Irish, gone. Because I knew that she was going to screenshot all of it and put it out there and be like, well, look at Mac. Like, she has an issue with Irish too. Like, poor Mac. Like, so I deleted all of it because I don't want my issues being used by you to, further your problems with Irish. Okay? So that's why I took this as a threat. So, yeah, I took this as a threat for her. She was telling me here, she was saying to Quacky, hey girl, if you don't shut your mouth, I'm going to release private DMs between me and Mac to show that Mac and Irish were having issues to further my issues with Irish and to further my credibility. That's what this was, okay? So, anyways, right? There's some other things in here that I wanted to talk about. So let's do that. Which one's this one? Okay, so here's another one. So this is Miss Daisy, being like, what does Mac have to do with this? So here's what it is. Okay, so here's what she says. I answered that. I was urging Quacky to be careful about how she approaches the situation because I guess she has done okay. Sorry, let me read this again. I was urging Quacky to be careful about how she approaches the situation because done recklessly, it can have negative consequences for other people. That's what I meant. like, so, you know, here's her saying she's gonna use my name to shut other people up. Because what do I have to do with you're and Irish's beef? What do I have to do with that? Nothing. I don't have anything to do with that other than the fact that I witnessed the lie. That's all I have to do with this. I witnessed a lie. That's it. Point blank, period. Like, I can corroborate that she lied, but that's it. That's the only thing that I have to do with this. Like, I wasn't even friends with Kenzie. Like, I'm not friends with Kenzie. I never have been friends with Kenzie. We've been acquaintances. We have done lives together. We've debated together. Whatever. That doesn't mean I'm friends with her, and I've never been friends with her, so I have nothing to do with this. Anyways. Got some other stuff to show you guys. All right, let's get into this shit right here. All right, so this is Kenzie and her server, Receipts Kenzie version, whatever, making another statement. All right, so at this point, I had, wait, is that at this point yet? Hold on. Okay, so at this point, after I see that Kenzie mentioned my name in her server and made that threat to me, what did I do? I made a public statement. Actually, I'll grab that public statement. Give me just a second. Wait, can someone in the server privately DM me screenshots of my statement that I made? Can someone, I don't care who does it. Can someone do that really quickly? So I made a public statement basically, and I'm about to grab it so you guys can all see it. I made a public statement basically saying what I've just said now. I explained that I witnessed Kenzie lie. I explained I don't want to be involved in any of this. I explained that I don't know why she brought up my name. And I explained that I didn't appreciate being dragged into this. And I didn't appreciate my experiences being, like, held over my head. Like, some sort of, like, fucking, like, you know. I just didn't like that. That's it. That was my fucking statement. That was my statement. And then Kenzie tried to twist this whole situation into Max stepped into the ring herself. Max stepped into the ring herself. No, you threw out my name first. I didn't step into the ring on my own volition. I made a statement because you invoked my name. Like, girl, real-time manipulation. And and all of her little server rats also, like, we're like, yeah, Max stepped into the ring herself, whatever. Like, no, girl. She fucking, like, pulled me in because she put my name out there. And I was like, girl, I don't want you to use my shit. That's it. Let me grab the statement really quickly, though, because that is important, because I do want you guys to, like, see what I said.